I'm a college professor, so it's really hard to lecture when you think that their students are just staring at your mouth. Very often, it was distracting from my students, from my job. Finally, my wife convinced me to come in, and they realized it was better to have an entire set replaced. After the work was done, I had the opportunity to see myself in a mirror. It was amazing, but even more than that, then I went and I actually got to eat an apple, something I hadn't eaten in maybe 2 decades. It was amazing. It was fantastic. Touro definitely, it changed my life.
The Touro College of Dental Medicine's impact has been immeasurable. And to think that just 10 years ago, this place didn't exist. No students walking these halls, no patients in these chairs, and no smiles exchanged between faculty and the people whose lives they would change. But that's where Touro University has always made a difference.
Several people approached me with the idea that we should add a dental school to Touro University's offerings. After looking into it, we realized that there was a community need for a dental school at Touro.
It was the first new dental school in the New York area in 50 years. And in the world of higher education, things like this don't happen quickly. Skepticism came fast.
I was asked to listen to some presentations on the idea of establishing a dental school. I spent January through March of 2013 calling 40 different dental school deans, and the dean at Harvard Dental School started laughing on the telephone. I said, "What is so funny?" He said, "Good luck to you. Give me a call if you ever do it." Wouldn't you know it? That dean was the commencement speaker at the graduation of the first class in 2020.
Educating students and preparing them for life is in many ways a sacred mission. And when we decide that something's important and ought to be done, we devote tremendous effort and ingenuity in trying to make sure it happens.
The vision began to take shape. The best practitioners and educators were hired, and empty space was transformed into one of the most respected dental schools in the nation. In 2016, the doors opened. 110 students walked in, taking a chance on something that didn't have a track record yet. Something that existed only because enough people believed it should.
In 10 years, we've grown from infancy to maturity. We've grown from 100 students to the second largest school in the country. And we expanded our clinic in 2020 to include a pediatric clinic and then an orthodontic clinic. And the people who were here in the beginning didn't let things get in their way to make it the best it could be. They didn't have any history to fall back on, so they made the history themselves.
When we opened in July 2016, the sim lab was not built yet. It's an incredible transformation over the years.
One of the highlights of being here is that class of 2020. They really took a chance on us.
Pioneers.
Set the bar.
Pioneers. They set the bar, and some have come back to work here, which is amazing. But the fact that they stuck around when things may have looked a little shaky, yet we spoke in faith and we moved it forward, and they ended up, doing some really incredible things.
It's about inclusivity, access to care, taking care of patients in a compassionate manner. And I think we've lived up to that throughout.
People from the outside that come in, they make comments because everybody is so warm and everybody is so friendly. And it's that kind of environment that makes us a very unique school.
I don't know of many dental schools, any professional schools, that go out of their way to do so much for their students, between giving special classes, between being understanding and giving them extra time. It's a unique environment. It's a unique situation that we've created.
We started in 2016 with 100 students, 110 students. Those students had to graduate during a pandemic. It was one of the most emotional things that I've ever had in my entire career, was graduating a class that we had grown with for 4 years, to know them so personally that we couldn't be there to hug them when they graduated. To me, that's what we do. That's what the Touro College of Dental Medicine does. The people who walk into the building for their education, become part of us.
It was like a family here. I think you can see that. It kind of also extends to the patients. You go hang out in the waiting room of the clinic, and you see the students come and pick up the patients, and you see how cheerful and happy and energetic they are and how comfortable they make the patients feel. And seeing that as a faculty member and remembering doing that as a student and seeing that it's continued on for these 10 years, it's just very conducive to a positive learning environment where we're starting our careers.
Every week, more than 1,000 patients walk through these doors. Many of them have nowhere else to go. Children who've never seen a dentist, veterans who served their country and now need someone to serve them, people with disabilities whose needs are rarely met elsewhere.
I woke up one day in March of 2025, and I just had this horrible pain in the left side of my face. And it was agonizing. I couldn't sleep. I could barely even do anything. It was so bad. And then I came to Touro. It was the first time, I had a dentist that I felt like listened throughout this whole experience. And when the pandemic hit, I ended up homeless. I didn't have anyone to rely on. And, my teeth declined. I had such bad teeth. I didn't want to smile. I didn't want to eat out with friends. I didn't want to go on dates. I actually had an amazing date last month, and things didn't work out, but it was such a good experience to be able to go out with someone and just enjoy myself. And I really appreciate you guys for making that happen.
Look at literally the happy faces, the smiles that are being created. And that's not just the patient, it's the faculty, the staff, the students that are just thrilled to be associated with a program that has excellent standards and a warm and inviting environment.
Service isn't something students do after they learn. It's woven into everything from day one. Caring for others is also the reason they send missions around the world where dental care is needed most. And most recently, that care has expanded to Albuquerque, New Mexico, in a state with one of the lowest ratios of dentists to patients in the country. Touro built something new, not because it was easy, but because it was needed.
Literally 5 years after opening a brand new dental school, we decided to go and create a facility in New Mexico that will be available to all of those individuals who do not have access to oral health care. And it speaks to who we are. I mean, we are an institution that believes in helping the next individual, and we do that. In 10 years, TCDM has created a family that is second to none. And to think that it came from just a single idea to where we've matured in 10 years, where we have graduates all over the country in the best specialty programs, postgraduate programs, hospital relationships, those sorts of things usually take decades. I think about Dr. Lander's dream, where a little over 50 years ago, starting with a couple of dozen students, and Dr. Kadish took that dream to where Touro University has grown to now. That's the ethos of the university. And we've done that in the dental education arena. And yet we've done it in a way that keeps a family-oriented basis to who Touro really is. And that's just an amazing, amazing story. And we're not done yet.